Hello, everyone. This is Robert Pulse. Uh, Finally getting back to taking and doing some videos. And election's over. We've got, I've finished taking care of my communications to my grandchildren and children, um, genealogy communications that I give them on their birthdays for the year. So I've got some time to sit here and look at this. All right, you should be seeing the front page for this presentation. It says how to use Family Search view relationship feature. It's also called Are you related when the RootsTech was in town. For a quick and dirty way to take and establish a relationship for DNA matches in your RootsMagic 10 tree. This came up in the Let's Talk North Carolina genealogy group. And I was asked to take and do a presentation on it, and I'm going to provide this video as a background for that. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert, just an amateur genealogist, been doing this since 1992, and believe me, there have been technology changes since then. And there's plenty now, full text search is one of them. I do videos for those that have responded. I go too fast, because I do, I guess. And so they can take and see the video and rewind and rewind it as many times so they can see where I'm clicking. It seems to have worked. I've gotten positive feedback on it. For DNA and AI genealogy, I'm just a beginner, and this is DNA one, so take it with a grain of salt. My objective in doing DNA was to determine if I am researching the correct people. If I'm doing all this paperwork and research the library, I wanted to know that I had the right people. Now, I start out with the great-grandparents. So that gives you 8 surnames, which I'll call lines when I talk about it in here. Since then, I've thought about moving it to 16, the next great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. But I haven't done that, and so for this project, you'll see that it's just sitting here at the 8 level. This particular project is a quick and dirty way to determine which line your DNA matches appear in. Kind of useful. It is for me because I know which line is in there. And I wanted at least a couple of people in each one of these lines so that I know that I'm researching the right people DNA-wise. I'm not going to have some of them are going to be pretty light and some of them are going to be pretty heavy, I found, at the 8 surname level. Okay, the requirements: the DNA match must have a tree on the DNA service like Ancestry or Family Tree DNA or MyHeritage. I used all 3 of those, and I'm also on Genealogy. The DNA match tree must contain a deceased individual that is related to me, and it is also in the FamilySearch World family tree. A lot of words there. Basically, it says that we need a deceased individual because living people don't show up in the world family tree, and he has to be related to me. Sometimes that may be difficult. I had to choose my example pretty carefully. The deceased individual in 2 must have a line of ancestors to our common ancestor in the World Search family tree. That's fairly obvious. They must go up to my common ancestor. I also have to have a line to that common ancestor too. Okay. The risk: you have to have confidence in the FamilySearch World family tree. There's a lot of good arguments out there that is flawed. This is a quick and dirty way of looking at it. So just take it with a grain of salt. If you don't have confidence in it, or you look at the tree, at the connections in the tree, and you say, that's not right, then this ain't going to work for you. But if it does go through the tree, then it gives you a good hint for where you might find a connection, so that it may come down through the same line. You just have to take and work it like you do everything in DNA. You have to have confidence in your tree. And up to the common ancestor between the two of them. We'll talk about what the common ancestor is and so on. This is what has been loaded and make sure that that's what's loaded in the FamilySearch World tree. I know that there's a lot of discussion out there about people changing their tree. If your tree's not right, you need to know where it's not right, and you've got to take and adjust for that. Okay, for this example, let's see. That's not going to work too well. I can't see it. Maybe you can. Okay, what I have done here is this is the printout on RootsMagic 10 for the DNA for the 35 shared centimorgans for me. I have wiped out the names because these are all living people. But a couple things you ought to notice here. First off, one of the things that RootsMagic is neat about is I can have ancestry people, I can have family tree data people, and I can have MyHeritage people. And I have GEDmatch. It's not on this page, but you can have GEDmatch people all on one page. So you can take and go look at all of them in descending shared centimorgan order. So the one I chose, we share 35 centimorgans, and we only have one shared segment, and it's 35. Easy enough. Okay. Come on. Oops, wrong place. There we go. Okay, this is the tree that they have in here. So like I said, this is in Ancestry, but you can do this in MyHeritage. And now that family tree DNA is in MyHeritage, you do family tree DNA in MyHeritage also. By the way, I did Y DNA and family tree DNA. And so this is the tree, and the first one I'm gonna work on is James Burt Bly. Here's the person that the tree is the match is associated with, and if you click on his name there in Ancestry, and it's similar on MyHeritage, it will come up with the detailed information. Okay, and that's what you get here. Okay, now you've got this information, and now I take that. Whoops. Here we go. And I built Mr. Bly. There we go. And I put this information, and this information in for him. Ignore the rest of this. One of the things that I wanted to point out, though, is that I have begun to use this a suffix here to tell me where that DNA originated from. It shows up with the name, so when you're digging through your files and you're trying to do matches and do comparison matches in RootsMagic, it's a very useful tool to have this here. That means Ancestry DNA to me. Family tree DNA is FTY DNA because it's Y DNA, and MyHeritage is MY DNA, and those are the terms that I'm using to take and tag those. But when you're searching through the list and you're trying to do things with matches, you really need that too. Okay, so I put this information in. Okay, drop that out, and that builds it like this. Now, ignore that for the moment, and you come down here, you strike this. Well, comes up over here. Here we go. And right off the bat, it has a match. Now, sometimes you're not going to have a match, and you're going to have to search for more matches, and then you're going to have to play the game of matching up all the rest of the names that are in that family tree. Right now, at this point in time, I really only have one in there. So you say yes. It says by match. Okay. And that comes up, and you can look at the shared data. If you don't know how to operate this, you need to look at the associated videos that I've got attached to this. We'll show you how to take and deal with some of this data and how to build stuff in there. Okay. So we've got a GLV 9-6CY. Okay. For me, that goes back here. Now let's see. Here we go. I need to close this. Gotta get it up where I can. Close. There we go. So that gets us back down here to Mr. Bly, and I put it right there, CLV 9CY. Okay, so let's take that. And let's go back over here. Now we're going to, this is jumping ahead. You don't need to see that yet. You go to Family Tree. You go to Find. Okay. Come on. Now, generally it will come up Find by name, okay? But the Find by ID is here. And so you paste that in there and you go to Search. Okay, and there he is, James Burke Bly. You click on that, you hit Person. You don't have to, you can do this right there, but I like to see the person. So it's going to take a second. And here we are, Person. Okay, you come right up here to View Relationship. That's right here. You click on this, and it gives you your common ancestor and the chain to him. Now, Mr. Bly is his wife, and I haven't put her in yet. But actually, I have put her in there. That she's in the database, but you haven't seen her in there yet. So you have, this is her number. By the way, when you click on that, you copy that ID, and you can take them in. Then you don't have to take them, type it in, which I like. And you will see that my third great-grandfather, my great-grandfather was Beverly Wright Potts. So it's coming in on my Beverly Wright Potts body. And you can take and see it's also, if I went back to my great, it's coming in on the Chaplain line, which is good because I don't have a whole lot of people. And so there's the actual link to my family. Now let's go back to something. Okay, let's go up here to groups now. We've got that information. And I have a DNA group over here. I have all types of groups, as you can see. And I put it under the Beverly Wright group. This is the 8 people, the 8 lines. So each one of these has one. You can see how many I have so far found. There's a lot more in here. It's just that there's some lines I just work on more. Looks like I need to go look for David Hedges more. But anyway, so he's there. I can click this, and that'll disappear from over here. And then I go back to it, and I click it. And so I'll have that group assigned to this name. Okay. See? It's back. Come back. There you go. Oops. Didn't go back. Yeah. Well, it will by the time I take and load it up again. Okay. Because it's in there. And for reference numbers, I put the family search ID there. And I put a sort date of 1400. I have no dates in any of my files that are before 1400. And I don't ever expect to have any. So I use that for all my reference numbers, put my reference numbers at the top. Okay, that's the quick and dirty way of doing that. Let's see here. Let's see, where am I? There we go. Okay, now let's go back up here. And these are associated videos that you would find useful. These are all in my YouTube video site. Here it is. How to find an individual family search using Family Search ID. I showed you how to do that. How to use Family Search ID to enter individuals into RootsMagic 9. It's the same process for RootsMagic 10, so I haven't updated that. These are some of the other projects that use Family Search IDs again. So if you want to take and expand your knowledge, I don't know if expanding your knowledge is the right word when you're talking, when I'm doing the one that's teaching, but anyway, if you want to see how I did it, there it is. Here's my contact information. Please subscribe and give a thumbs up. Thumbs up are always welcome. They tell me that the 4 hours I take to cut each one of these videos, and sometimes more, are worthwhile. And also, if you have any additional topics you think I should take, something shows up in one of my videos that you'd like to see more detail on, drop me an email. There's my email address. And thank you for your time for viewing today. And let's see if I can shut everything down and not have a problem. You have a great day. Good morning again. This is Robert Fultz. Keeping with my policy of sharing with you my mistakes, I received this morning, and this is from Spy, I don't know, something fly. It's interesting, his monocle. And also had a review of this video with the RootsMagic users group that I got in. So I thought I'd bring you up to date on a couple things. So the first thing is his comment about the spelling, and he is correct. I misspell. I do it frequently. I appreciate the feedback. I need somebody to proofread these. Some people suggest that I should proofread them all the time. It seems to violate my policy of showing you the mistakes I make. That would be the mistakes that a group makes, and I'm not willing to do that. So I have corrected it on slide 4, and so it's there. It's also corrected in the documentation, which I'll be attaching to the bottom of this. Okay. So going back to this gentleman's comment, second comment, you only need to click on them once you have the family search match with family search. You only need to right click and jump to. I never use that feature. This is well worth the whole effort that I've made in doing these videos. So here you go. Here's James Burke, our example. And we take and go to jump to, and we go to family search. And look at this. It comes right up. That saved me a lot of steps. I don't know about you, but I didn't know I could do that. Okay. And so there's the line back to me. Again, it works just like the way I showed you in the video. Okay. Let's go back to this. Well, let's minimize this, and let's minimize this, and go back to this. This is what we want. Okay, this is what we want. Okay. Well, what I really want is this here. Okay. In the example in the video, I affix the aDNA to the parent. I did that because of privacy issues on the matches are living. And so one of the difficulties in making DNA presentations is on matches is to blank out the living so you don't give out any living data on your YouTube video. And so I show the attachment on the parent, but normally I would put that on the match, and then it would show up with the match each time. I don't put it on all the people all the way back to my common ancestor, although it is suggested that I do that sometimes. I haven't seen an advantage in doing that. That's a lot more, and then it's not the match. This actually identifies it as the match. So feedback on that would be interesting. Okay. Now, third thing that came out, and this came out when we were doing the RootsMagic users group, is how do you rapidly take and build the family after you've got a match? And apparently a lot of people have missed this. You go down here, you take the match YouTube. Okay. Thank you. It's nice to know that. You go down here, and that raises this window up here. You go to import. You go to search by family search ID. You place that family search ID there. You choose the number of generations you want to go back. I generally choose 4. You choose the number of descendants you want to go down, and then you hit import. And this will take a long time, so I'm going to cancel out of that because it'll bring in multiple. Well, it did just 2 families that time, but that will import people for you. You really want to do it on her because she is the match in this when my examples work for each. Okay, now let's go back to here. And I've covered deceased, I've covered jump to, I covered that, and I covered the thing. So I think that's everything that I made a mistake on and needed to correct it here. You have a great day. I'm going to put this at the end of the video so you can see how I've recovered and what I've learned. I really appreciate that kind of feedback. That's why I do these things, is to learn how to do things better.